Let me tell you about the moment I realized my entire life was a lie. I was sitting in my office, third floor, corner desk, the one with the window that overlooks the parking lot. I'd worked hard for that desk. 4 years of college, 2 years of graduate school, 3 years climbing the corporate ladder, HR director at 28. I was proud of myself. My parents were proud of me. At least I thought they were. I was reviewing resumes that afternoon, stack of them, maybe 40. We were hiring for a junior marketing position, entry level, nothing special, the kind of job that gets 200 applications in a week. I was skimming through them, fast, efficient, looking for the obvious ones to cut, typos, wrong qualifications, weird formatting, and then I saw her face. The resume had a photo attached, professional headshot, standard stuff for marketing positions, a young woman, 23 years old, dark hair, brown eyes, strong jawline. Something about her made me stop, something familiar, something I couldn't quite place. I looked at the name, Nancy Hartwell. I didn't know any Hartwells. I looked at the photo again, and that's when I felt it, that cold feeling in your stomach. The one that tells you something is very, very wrong. I was looking at myself, not exactly, but close enough. The eyes, the nose, the chin, the way her mouth curved when she smiled. It was like looking at a photograph of myself from 5 years ago. But it wasn't me. It was someone named Nancy Hartwell, someone I never met, someone I never heard of, someone who looked more like me than my own reflection. I put the resume down, picked it up again, stared at the photo, told myself I was imagining things. People look alike sometimes. Doppelgangers exist. But then I looked at the birth date, March 3rd, 2002. She was 23, I was 28, 5 years younger than me, and something else, something that made my blood run cold. The address on her resume, Greenfield, Ohio, a small town, 2 hours from where I grew up, 2 hours from where my father went on his business trips. Every month, for as long as I could remember. My name is Anita. I'm 28 years old. I live in Columbus, Ohio. I'm an HR director at a mid-sized marketing firm. I have a cat named Biscuit. I have a 2-bedroom apartment with a balcony. I had a father named Jerry. I thought I knew him. I was wrong. This is the story of how I discovered my father's secret, a secret he kept for 23 years, a secret that destroyed 2 families. A secret that connected me to a sister I never knew I had. Subscribe if you want to hear how this ends. Comment your country and the time. And type family if you've ever discovered a secret that changed everything. Now let me take you back to the beginning, to the man I thought my father was. Growing up, I thought my father was perfect. Jerry Winters, 55 years old now, but when I was a kid, he was in his 32nds, young, handsome, successful, the kind of father other kids envied. He worked in insurance, regional sales manager for a national company, good salary, nice car, expense account. He wore suits to work every day, polished shoes, silk ties. He smelled like cologne and success. He was the kind of man who commanded respect. When he walked into a room, people noticed. When he spoke, people listened. When he smiled, you felt like you'd won something. I worshiped him. From my earliest memories, my father was my hero. He called me princess. He took me to the park on Saturdays. He read me bedtime stories in funny voices. He taught me to ride a bike, to swim, to drive a car. He came to my soccer games, my school plays, my graduation. He cried when I left for college. He cried again when I got my first job. He told me he was proud of me. Every single day. Anita, you're going to do great things. Anita, you're the best daughter a man could ask for. Anita, I love you more than anything. I believed him. Why wouldn't I? He was my father. Fathers don't lie, not about the big things. But here's what I didn't know. What I couldn't have known. Every time my father said he loved me more than anything, he was lying. Because there was someone else, someone he loved just as much, someone he'd been loving since before I could remember, someone named Nancy, my sister, the one I didn't know existed. Let me tell you about the business trips, the ones that happened every month, like clockwork, the second week of every month, Monday through Thursday, 4 days. Gone. Regional meetings, he said. Corporate conferences, he said. Client visits, he said. I never questioned it. Why would I? I was a kid. I didn't know what adults did at work. I didn't know that regional meetings don't happen every single month. I didn't know that something was wrong. He'd pack on Sunday night one suitcase, the black one with wheels. He'd lay his suits out on the bed. My mother would help sometimes, folding, organizing. Don't forget your razor. I won't. And call me when you get there. Always do. He'd kiss her goodbye. Kiss me goodbye. Drive away early Monday morning and disappear for 4 days into his other life, the one I didn't know about, the one with Melinda, the one with Nancy. Looking back now, I can see the signs. The signs I missed, the signs my mother might have seen. Sign 1, the second phone. My father had 2 phones, one for work, one for personal. That's what he said, but I caught him once. I was 16. He was sitting on the porch, phone in hand, smiling, a different kind of smile, not the smile he gave me or my mother, something softer, something secret. Who are you texting, Dad? He jumped, actually jumped. Then he smiled, the normal smile, just a coworker, boring work stuff. He put the phone away. Changed the subject. I forgot about it. I shouldn't have. Sign 2, the calls he couldn't take. Sometimes, during dinner, his phone would ring. He'd look at the screen, and his face would change. Just for a second, I have to take this. He'd leave the table, go outside, or to the garage. He'd be gone for 15 minutes, sometimes 30. When he came back, he was different, quieter, distracted. My mother never asked who called. I never asked either. We just ate our dinner and pretended nothing was wrong. Sign 3, the credit card bills. I found them once by accident. I was looking for tape in my father's desk drawer. There was a stack of papers, credit card statements. I saw charges I didn't understand. Restaurants in Greenfield, a toy store in Greenfield, a pediatrician in Greenfield, Ohio, 2 hours away. I'd never been there. Why was my father spending money there? I almost asked him. Almost. But then my mother called me for dinner, and I forgot. For 12 more years, I forgot, until Nancy Hartwell's resume landed on my desk, and everything I'd forgotten came rushing back. Let me tell you about the investigation. After I saw her resume, I couldn't stop. Every night after work, I came home and opened my laptop. Searching, digging, I found her LinkedIn profile, recent college graduate, marketing degree. And then I saw it. A family photo, Nancy in the center, her mother on one side, a woman I never seen, blonde, pretty, 40S or 50S, and on the other side, my father, Jerry, smiling, arm around Nancy, like he belonged there, like he'd always been there. The caption read, "Graduation day, so proud of my baby girl. Dad." He called her his baby girl, the same thing he called me, the same words, the same love, the same lies. I found her mother's Facebook, Melinda Hartwell, Greenfield, Ohio, married, according to her status, to Jerry Hartwell since 2001.2001. 25 years ago, my mother had been married to my father for 30 years. There was overlap, 5 years when my father was married to two women. At the same time, I scrolled through the photos, years of them, birthdays, holidays, vacations, and in so many of them, my father, Jerry, her husband, my dad. There were photos from their wedding, 2001. I was 3 years old when my father married another woman. He wore a different suit, but the same smile, the same lies. I found photos of Nancy as a baby, my father holding her, the same way he held me in my baby photos, the same position, the same expression. He'd done it all before, with me. And then he did it again, with her, 5 years later, in another town, with another woman, the business trips. That's how he did it. 4 days every month. He wasn't at conferences. He wasn't meeting clients. He was in Greenfield, being Jerry Hartwell, being Nancy's dad, being Melinda's husband, living his other life. I calculated the days, 4 days a month, 12 months a year, 23 years. That's 1,104 days, 3 full years of his life. Given to people I didn't know existed. I needed proof, real proof, not just photos. I ordered a DNA kit, sibling test, $299, express shipping. I still had Nancy's coffee cup from when she came for an interview. I swabbed my cheek, then I swabbed the rim of her cup. Where her lips had touched, where her DNA was waiting, I sent it off. Results in 5 to 7 business days, the longest week of my life. The results came on a Tuesday. I was at work. I went to the bathroom, locked myself in a stall, opened the email on my phone. My hands were shaking. Relationship half-sibling. Probability 99.97%. Shared DNA 27%. Estimated relationship half-sister. Half-sister. Nancy Hartwell was my half-sister. We shared a father, Jerry Allen Winters, Jerry Allen Hartwell, the same man. I sat in that bathroom stall for 20 minutes, maybe 30. Time stopped making sense. Everything stopped making sense. My father had another daughter. My father had another family. My father had been living 2 lives for 23 years. I had to confront him. I had to hear it from his mouth. I called him that night. Dad, can we have dinner? Just the 2 of us? Of course. When were you thinking? Tomorrow. That Italian place you like. See you there, princess. Love you. The words tasted like ash, but I said them anyway, one more time, before everything changed. We met at the restaurant. He arrived 5 minutes late, like always. He slid into the booth across from me, kissed my cheek, smelled like cologne. The same cologne he'd worn my whole life. We made small talk, his work, my work, the weather, meaningless words filling meaningful silence. I watched him eat, watched him smile, watched him be my father, the man I'd loved my whole life, the man who'd been lying my whole life. Dad, can I ask you something? Anything, princess. Do you know someone named Nancy Hartwell? He froze, fork halfway to his mouth, just for a second. Then he recovered. Why do you ask? She applied for a job at my company from Greenfield, Ohio. She looks like me, Dad. She has your eyes, your chin, your dimple. Silence, Dad. Who is Nancy Hartwell? He closed his eyes. For a long moment, he just sat there like a man waiting for execution. Anita, I can explain. Then explain. It's complicated. Is she your daughter? The tables around us went quiet. Yes. One word, so small, so devastating. Yes, Nancy is my daughter. How long? 23 years? Her whole life? Yes. And her mother, Melinda? We met 26 years ago at a conference, a real one. We started seeing each other. She got pregnant with Nancy. I couldn't leave her, couldn't abandon my child, but you could abandon us half the time. I love them. Both families. I couldn't choose. I couldn't give either of you up. You kept us like options, like backups. You had two families because you were too selfish to be honest, too cowardly to face the consequences. Anita, I love you. Don't. Don't you dare say you love me. You don't know what love is. Love doesn't lie. Love doesn't build a whole other life and hide it for 23 years. I stood up. I'm telling Mom. His face went white. Anita, please let me know. You've had 23 years to tell her. You didn't. I will. She'll leave me. She should. I walked out. I didn't look back. I drove to my mother's house. She was reading on the couch. I sat down next to her. Mom, I need to tell you something about Dad. And she said something I never expected. I know, baby. I've known for years. The room tilted. What? I know about Melinda, about Nancy, about Greenfield. I've known for almost 20 years. You knew for 20 years and you stayed? Where would I go, Anita? I hadn't worked in years. I had no money of my own, no career. I'd given everything to this family, to him. You could have left. And then what? Be a single mother with no job? Take you away from your father? I stayed so you could have a childhood. My childhood was built on lies. Half is better than nothing. We sat in silence. Mother and daughter, both lied to. Both betrayed. What are you going to do now? I asked. Leave him. Finally. I've been waiting 20 years to say that. I have money saved, a lawyer on retainer. I was just waiting for the right moment. You knowing is the right moment. She was crying now, but smiling too. Like a weight was lifting. I stayed for you, Anita, not for him. And now you know the truth. I don't have to pretend anymore. I met Nancy a week later at a coffee shop in Greenfield. I told her everything about our father, about his other life, about us being sisters. She cried. My whole life is a lie. So was mine. He told us he commuted from Columbus. That's why he was gone so much. He said he was building his career. For us. He told us he had business trips. Same lie. Different version. We shared memories, compared stories. The same father, the same lies, told in two different houses for 2 decades. The same lake house in Michigan, the same bedtime stories, the same I love you more than anything. He'd used the same material for both of us, recycled like a franchise, a template for fake family happiness. I always wanted a sister, she said. Me too. 6 months have passed since that day. 6 months of healing. My mother filed for divorce. 30 years of marriage ended with a signature. She got the house, the savings, everything she deserved. She's taking art classes now, dating someone new, a man from her church, nice guy, honest. Everything my father wasn't. She's happy, really happy. Melinda kicked him out too, kept the house, kept her dignity. Nancy and I have become close, really close. Sisters by blood, sisters by choice. We meet every Saturday for brunch. We've started new traditions just for us. She's the best thing to come out of this nightmare. A sister I never knew I wanted. And my father, Jerry Winters, Jerry Hartwell, the man with 2 names, 2 families, 0 integrity. He lives in a small apartment now, alone, demoted at work. Everyone knows. No one trusts him. He calls me sometimes. I don't answer. He sends letters. I don't read them. He made his choices, and now he lives with them. Alone. If you're listening tonight, remember this. The truth always comes out. Maybe not today, maybe not for 23 years, but eventually my father thought he could have everything. 2 families, 2 lives. He was wrong. He gave us half, and he lost everything. That's the price of lies. That's the cost of betrayal. Type truth if you've discovered a family secret. Type family if you found your people. Type karma if you've watched lies catch up to someone. Subscribe for more stories. Share with someone who needs this. And remember, the truth is heavy, but lies are heavier. Good night, but wait. Let me tell you more about the details, the small moments that hurt the most. Let me tell you about the holidays, the ones that were never complete, the ones where my father was missing. Christmas was supposed to be sacred, family time, together time. But every other Christmas, my father wasn't there. Work emergency, princess. I'll be back tomorrow. He'd be there for Christmas Eve. We'd open one present. His tradition. He'd kiss me goodnight, tell me Santa was coming, and then sometime in the night, he'd leave. I'd wake up Christmas morning, and he'd be gone. Daddy had to go help someone, sweetheart. The presents were there, wrapped, labeled, from Dad, with love, but he wasn't there to watch me open them, to see my face, to share the moment. He was in Greenfield with Nancy, opening presents with her, watching her face, sharing their moment while I sat under our tree. Missing him. Thanksgiving was the same. Every other year, he'd be there for part of it, the cooking, the preparation, but then a phone call, a crisis, a disappearance. Save me some turkey. I'll be back as soon as I can. 2 families, 2 holidays, one father who could never be fully present for either of us. Let me tell you about my birthday, September 15th, a day that should have been mine, completely mine. Most years he was there, most years. But some years he missed it. My 13th birthday, conference in Chicago, my 18th birthday, client emergency. He always made it up to me, a bigger gift, a nicer dinner, a longer hug. But it wasn't the same. Where was he really? At Nancy's event, her game, her concert, choosing her over me or me over her, taking turns. Like we were appointments in his calendar. Let me tell you about the time I got sick, pneumonia. I was 14, high fever, couldn't breathe right. My mother took me to the hospital. I wanted my father. Where's Dad? He's on his trip, sweetie. But I called him. He's coming. He arrived at midnight. 10 hours after my mother called. Greenfield was 2 hours away. What took 10 hours? Packing, probably, explaining to his other family why he had to leave, lying to them too. He stayed with me for 3 days, never left my side, the perfect father during those 3 days. But somewhere in Greenfield, Nancy was wondering where her dad went, why he disappeared so suddenly. She was waiting, just like I waited, when he was with her. Let me tell you about learning to drive, a memory I thought was special, just me and Dad, in an empty parking lot, Saturday mornings. Ease onto the brake, Anita. Check your mirrors. You're doing great, princess. Those were some of my favorite memories, just us. Learning something together, but Nancy learned to drive too, from the same teacher, in a different parking lot, with the same patience, the same words, probably. Ease onto the brake, Nancy. Check your mirrors. You're doing great. He gave us the same childhood, the same memories, the same words, like a script. Applied twice. We weren't special. We were interchangeable. Let me tell you about my graduation, high school, the big day. I was valedictorian, top of my class. He was there, front row, camera in hand, tears in his eyes. That's my daughter. Everyone looked. I was embarrassed, but also proud. My father loved me. My father was proud. Nancy graduated too. In 2020, he was there too. Front row, camera in hand, same tears. That's my daughter, same words, same pride for both of us. like an actor performing the same play. Two stages, two audiences, one script. Let me tell you about confronting my mother, the real conversation when I demanded answers. How did you find out? I asked. Credit card statement, 2008. Charges in Greenfield. A nice restaurant? Date night kind of place? I waited, watched, started paying attention. And you confronted him? Yes. He cried, begged, told me it was a mistake. He said Melinda meant nothing, that Nancy was an accident. An accident, his word. He said he tried to leave her multiple times, but she threatened to tell me. He said he was protecting us. By lying for 20 years? He was convincing. Your father could sell anything to anyone. He had an answer for everything. And you believed him? I wanted to believe him. That's different. Believing is active. Wanting to believe is hope. Desperate hope that your life isn't a lie. She started crying. I wasted my life, Anita. 30 years with a man who was never fully mine. You didn't waste your life, Mom. You raised me. You loved me. You were always there. I stayed because I was trapped by need, by dependence, by him. You're free now. Yes, finally, I'm free. Let me tell you about meeting Nancy, really meeting her as sisters. She was shorter than me, maybe 5'4" to my 5'7", but the face was unmistakable, dark hair like mine, brown eyes like mine, strong jawline like mine. She smiled, a nervous smile, and I saw my father's dimple on her left cheek. The same dimple I see in my mirror. I can't believe this is real, she said. Neither can I. We compared notes for hours. The overlaps were devastating. The same lake house. Every summer, different weeks, same dock, same sunset, same lies, the same bedtime stories, the princess and the dragon. He told us both, word for word. Like a recording, the same pet name, Princess, for both of us. Did you ever feel like something was missing? I asked. All the time. He was gone so much. I thought he was just dedicated to his job, building his career for us. I thought the same thing. We were both making excuses for a man who was making fools of us. Let me tell you about the aftermath, what happened to everyone. My mother found peace. Finally, after 20 years of pretending, she sold some of his things, gave some away, burned a few, a ritual, a cleansing. She travels now, Italy, France, Spain, places she always wanted to see, places he never took her. She sends me photos. Smiling, happy, free. Melinda struggled more. She thought she was married for 25 years. Her whole life was built on fraud. She had no legal standing, no rights. Just 25 years of nothing. Nancy helps her now, her own daughter, supporting her mother, because there's no one else. Nancy and I see each other every week. We text every day, memes, articles, sister stuff, the stuff I never had before. We talk about him sometimes when we need to, but less and less. He's fading into the past where he belongs, and my father, he tried to apologize through letters, through voicemails, through my grandmother. He's not doing well, Anita. Heart problems, the stress. I felt nothing, neutral, empty. He's a stranger now, a stranger with heart problems, in a small apartment, alone. What he gave out came back, multiplied. He half loved everyone. Now no one loves him at all. That's karma, that's balance, that's the universe settling accounts. Let me tell you what I've learned. After all of this, people are capable of anything. Extraordinary deception, sustained lies for years, decades. Trust should be earned, not given freely. Watch what people do, not just what they say. The truth heals, even when it wounds. I'm healthier now than before I knew. The lies were disease. The truth was treatment. Family is choice, not blood. I chose Nancy. I chose my mother. I chose to walk away from him. And what I've built is more real than what I was born into. You are not what was done to you. What happened doesn't define me. What I do next does. Let me tell you about hope, because there has to be hope. I have hope that I'll trust again someday, that I'll love again, that I'll believe again. Not today, but someday. I have hope that Nancy and I will be close forever. Real sisters, best friends, family. I have hope that my mother will find happiness, real happiness, that she deserves. I have hope that the future is better than the past, that what's coming is brighter than what's gone. I believe that. I have to. So that's my story. Finally, completely. My father had a secret family for 23 years. 2 wives, 2 daughters, 2 lives, built on lies, destroyed by truth. And from the wreckage, something new is growing. Something real. Something mine. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being here until the very end. You matter. You're loved. You're going to be okay. Whatever you're facing, I promise. Because if I can survive this, you can survive anything. Type truth if you've chosen honesty. Type family if you've found your people. Type survive if you've made it through. Type hope if you believe in tomorrow. Subscribe for more stories. Share with someone who needs this. The truth always comes out, and freedom always follows. Good night. And may tomorrow be honest and free and yours. Let me tell you a few more things before I go about the objects, the physical things that carry memory. There's a watch. My father's watch, gold, engraved. To my princess, love, Dad. He gave it to me when I graduated college. I wore it every day for years. Now it sits in a drawer, unworn. I found out he gave Nancy the same watch, same gesture, same symbol, same lie. There's a photo album, pictures of me and my parents, our family. I used to flip through it on bad days, looking at happy memories. Now I can't open it. Every photo with my father is a lie. Every smile is performed. Every moment is half a moment. The other half belonging to Nancy. There's a quilt. My grandmother made it. My father's mother. She suspected for years and said nothing. The quilt is made from pieces of our family's clothes. A patchwork of lies. I gave it to charity. I couldn't keep it. Couldn't sleep under complicity. Let me tell you about the conversations with strangers. I was on a plane last month. The woman next to me started talking about her wonderful father, how present he was, how he never missed anything. She asked about mine. My father is complicated, I said. She nodded like she understood, but she didn't, because complicated doesn't cover it. Most people get the simplified version. My parents are divorced. My father and I aren't close. True, but not the whole truth. The whole truth is too much for small talk, for strangers, for coffee shops. But I share it here with you because you're not a stranger anymore. You listened. You cared. You wanted to understand. Let me tell you about the dreams, the nightmares. In one dream, I'm a child, sitting on my father's lap, looking at photos. Look at my princess, he says. But when I look up, he has no face, just blank skin, a mask with nothing behind it. In another dream, I'm at the lake house, swimming. My father is on the dock, waving, but then Nancy appears, a child Nancy, and we're both waving at him, screaming, "Daddy!" And he just keeps smiling, like nothing is wrong. The dreams are less frequent now, Progress. Let me tell you about the first day I didn't think about him. It was a Tuesday, 3 weeks ago, ordinary day, normal routine. And somewhere in the middle, I realized I hadn't thought about him not once the entire day. That's when I knew I was going to be okay, not because the pain was gone. It comes back, but there are gaps now, moments of calm, hours of peace. That Tuesday was proof healing happens, even when you can't feel it. Let me tell you about the future I'm building. Next year, I want to run a marathon. I've been running for 6 months, started as therapy, became passion. Next year, I want to travel somewhere new, Europe maybe, just me, discovering the world. Next year, I want to date again, really date, find someone honest, someone whole. I want all the years that are waiting, filled with life and love and truth. Let me tell you about gratitude. I'm grateful for Nancy, the unexpected gift. Without the lies, I never would have found her. I'm grateful for my mother's freedom. She was trapped for 20 years. Now she's living. I'm grateful for the truth, even though it hurt, because ignorance isn't bliss. Ignorance is prison. I'm grateful for therapy, for Dr. Chen, for the tools she gave me. I'm grateful for myself, for strength I didn't know I had, for resilience that surprised me. So here we are at the real end. My father had a secret family for 23 years. I found out when his other daughter applied to my company, and everything changed. Destruction and creation, loss and gain, pain and healing all at once. That's life. That's truth. That's how it works. If you've stayed until the end, thank you from my heart. You matter. You're strong. You're going to be okay. Type your country and the time. Type truth if this story matters. Type family if you're building your own. Subscribe, share, comment, come back. I love you all, strangers, friends, family. You're not alone. We're all in this together. Good night, sleep well, dream true, and wake up tomorrow ready to live the life you deserve. Finally, completely yours. Wait, one more thing. Let me tell you about silence. The silence that protected him for 23 years. My grandmother's silence. She suspected and said nothing. My uncle's silence. He noticed things and asked nothing. My mother's silence. She knew and stayed quiet for 20 years. Silence was his greatest ally. Better than lies. Better than excuses. Because silence requires nothing, just people choosing nothing over truth, over confrontation. If one person had spoken, just one, at any point, everything would have been different. Silence is complicity. When you see something wrong and say nothing, you're part of the wrong. When you suspect a lie and don't question it, you're part of the lie. If you see something, say something. That's not just for airports, that's for families, for relationships, for life. Let me tell you about masks. The ones we all wear, the ones my father perfected. He had a mask for Columbus, Jerry Winters, devoted husband, loving father, good man. He had a mask for Greenfield, Jerry Hartwell, devoted husband, loving father, good man, same mask, different name, same performance, different audience. We all wear masks sometimes. That's human. But his masks weren't survival. They were predation. He used masks to deceive, to take what wasn't his. The difference is intention. We wear masks to protect ourselves. He wore masks to harm others. Let me tell you about legacy, what my father leaves behind. Before all this, his legacy was good. Family man, community member, respected businessman. Now his legacy is different. Liar, fraud, destroyer of families. He destroyed his own legacy by trying to have too much, by refusing to choose, by thinking he was smarter than consequences. But there's another legacy, the one he didn't intend. Nancy and me, sisters, building something from his destruction. My mother, free after 20 years, we're his legacy too. The survivors, the rebuilders. That's a legacy he didn't deserve, but it's ours. Let me tell you about justice. There's legal justice. My mother got the house, the divorce, what she deserved. There's social justice. His reputation is destroyed. His friends abandon him. There's karmic justice. He's alone now. What he gave out came back. But is it justice? For 23 years of lies? No. Some wrongs can't be righted. Some damage can't be undone. You just live with it. Move forward. Build anyway. That's what we're doing. Living with injustice. And building anyway. Let me tell you about love. One more time. I still believe in love. Somehow, despite everything, I believe people can love truly, wholly, honestly, not like my father loved, divided, diluted. I want that someday. Real love, whole love, from someone who gives everything to one person, one family, one life. I deserve that. Nancy deserves that. We all deserve better than what he gave us, and we'll find it, each of us, in our own time. So here we really are, the true end, 43,000 characters of truth, of pain, of healing, of hope. My father lived 2 lives and lost them both. I'm living 1 life and making it count. That's the difference. That's the lesson. That's the end. Thank you for everything. Good night. Forever. Actually, let me share one final memory. The last time I saw my father, as my father, not as a stranger, not as the liar, but as my dad, it was 2 weeks before I found Nancy's resume. A Sunday dinner at my parents' house. The same dinner we'd had 1,000 times. He was carving the roast. My mother was serving vegetables. I was setting the table. Normal, ordinary, routine. He looked at me across the table, smiled. That warm smile I known my whole life. I'm proud of you, princess. You know that, right? I know, Dad. You're going to do great things. You already are. I smiled back, believed every word. 2 weeks later, I found out it was all performance. All of it. Every Sunday dinner. Every smile. Every I'm proud of you, half meant for me, half reserved for Nancy, split down the middle, like everything else. I can't eat Sunday roasts anymore. The smell reminds me of that last dinner, the last moment of innocence before everything shattered. I cook other things now, new recipes, new traditions, with Nancy sometimes, building new memories, uncontaminated ones. Let me tell you about forgiveness one more time. People ask me constantly, have you forgiven your father? The answer changes day by day, moment by moment. Some days I've let go of the anger, moved past the rage, found something like peace. Other days, the anger surges back, fresh, raw, like it just happened. Forgiveness isn't a destination, it's a journey, a messy, non-linear journey. I'm on it somewhere moving forward. Most of the time, that's all anyone can ask. Let me tell you what I would say to him. If I ever spoke to him again, I would say, you had everything, a wife who loved you, a daughter who worshiped you, a home, a life, a legacy, and you threw it away. For what? For the thrill of deception? For the ego boost of having 2 families? For the power of fooling everyone? You didn't love us, either of us. You loved yourself. You loved the game. You loved being the center of 2 universes, and now you're the center of nothing, alone, forgotten, a cautionary tale. I hope it was worth it. I hope those 23 years of lies were worth this ending. Because this is your ending, alone, unloved, unknown, and this is my beginning with Nancy, with Mom, with truth. You lost, we won. That's the only justice that exists. That's what I would say if I ever spoke to him again. I probably won't, but the words exist in my head, ready if needed. So this is truly the end now. 35,000 characters of story, of truth, of survival. My father had a secret family, I found out. Everything changed. And I'm still here, still standing, still building. That's the message. That's the takeaway. That's the hope. You can survive anything and come out stronger. I did. You can too. Type truth, type family, type survive, type hope, subscribe, share. Remember, the truth always wins, eventually, and so will you. Good night.